Hi, Dougie Burt from Doug Burt's Tackle World here for this week's fishing report off the Gold Coast. We're talking about the 8th, 9th and 10th of March 2024. As you probably noticed, my faithful comrade Stewie's not here. He's actually up barra fishing up at Peter Faust. Last thing I heard, he was wearing a life jacket to bed because it is absolutely hammering rain up there at the moment. Poor fella. But yeah, doesn't matter. Stewie will still catch him. He'll be out there in the rain. He has no fear of weather, so which is a good thing. It's a true fish show. Anyhow, Stewie, enjoy it, matey. Getting back to our report. So, guys, unfortunately, this weekend's looking a bit of a dud again. So, at this moment, the weather forecast is like 20 knots, even up to 30 knots of southerlies. And it's a great thing for bringing the mackerel on when the closure opens back up again in about 2 weeks' time. But until that time, until this weekend, you won't be able to get offshore unless you're a bit keen. The swell's going to be up as well, and obviously those winds are up. But hey, there'll be plenty of spotties around, I dare say. The water should be blue, even though it's been a bit of rain. It'll be fairly blue with all that southerly water getting pushed in, nice and clean. But what I would be doing, guys, for those who get fish offshore, I'd be getting ready for two things. One is wahoo, obviously Spanish when the season opens back up, but definitely wahoo is starting now. And also for snapper. The snapper had been fantastic last Sunday, if you guys got out. And caught a lot of snapper. So definitely the 24 fathoms have been really good, which is just out the front around the Diamond Reef. And on the 18 fathom pinnacles, there's some really good snapper caught. Chris, one of our customers, fished a little blue poly boat. Absolutely smashed some good snapper up to in the 90 centimetre mark on just trolling with his downrigger. So trolling downrigger and trolling little hard body lures like that behind. Okay. So yeah, really, really good fishing. Big fish as well. So I dare say the snapper's still going to be on. I don't know why, because it's like 28-degree water temperature, but anyhow, they're on. Doesn't matter. Go fishing. But you can't this weekend. The weather's too crap, okay? So just give it a steer. Get your gear ready. Bring up some wahoo skirts. This is the sort of stuff we use for wahoo. We're using metal heads and that type of thing there. You can see those. The bigger sizes, and we've got lures that are twice that size that are metal heads as well, up to nearly 14 inches long, for trolling on like 80-pound tackle doing 20 knots. So we've actually got a seminar coming up on wahoo tonight, next week. So in a week's time. So you're welcome to ring up and book into that one all about catching wahoo. And we'll talk about that high-speed wahoo fishing as well. So you can ring up the skirts ready for wahoo. The other thing to do, obviously, get your snapper gear ready. Spanner crowds should be on as well once this weather drops out a little bit. The current, I think at the moment, is not too bad, but it will start to drop off as the next couple of months go on. Other than that, it's probably got to wait till the weather comes good. Next Wednesday might be a break, guys, if you're watching it, or Thursday next week. So that would be the first break we'll get to get offshore. Okay, inshore, jumping pin. Well, there's heaps of prawns around. So the prawns really cranked up last few days, and the tides have been smaller, as Stewie said. Once those tides get a little bit smaller, they'll really come on and come out of the bottom. They lift up out of the bottom. Once the current starts ripping again, they go back down and bury themselves for a few days. So they're out at the moment. Today they were caught pretty well everywhere. They're up at Redland Bay Channel on the high tide in the morning, which is up near where the Redland Bay barge comes in, near Coochie Mudlow there. That's a good spot at the moment on the high tide. There's a few caught around Lamb and Macleay, which is a deep channel, and all the boats heading down between Coochie Mudlow and Macleay. And the other one that did really well was down around sort of Jacob's Well area. Have a look around that area as well. And probably they might be on. They've been on at the end of the island, on the southern end of the island at Jacob's Well. So there's a hole there. We call it Bundy Hole, because there used to be a boat there called Bundy. Not because everyone drinks there. They probably do. But anyhow, that's a great spot too. So check that out as well, particularly on the low tide, guys. Or the high tide, maybe, but definitely low tide. So Flathead, there's been a lot of flatheads caught this week. I noticed Bobo Boat, that they've been doing really, really well. And my suggestion would be to cast like prawn type lures around all the flats, the edge of the weed beds, because there's prawns running everywhere. So keep your profile in that prawn sort of shape. This type of thing here, if you can see those there, are really good. The Bait Junkies new prawns good as well. My favourite, been around for many, many years, Gulp in the shrimp is really good. 3 inches obviously to go in most of these ones. And Jackson, the Japanese shrimp, is fantastic, and they do some really great colours as well. They're good. So casting up into the current and hopping it back, so right on the edge of the weed, particularly on the bottom of the tide, the run-in tide, which would be around about probably just after lunch, I dare think, or mid-afternoon, when that tide starts to first run in. It's a bit dirty at the time, doesn't matter. And as soon as you start to see the stingrays going over the flats on the mud banks and sand banks where there's weed, the flathead be right at their dial, because that's where the bait is as well. So cast right under the edge of that weed, or in between the weed if you can see it, even in that deeper water, and just do that little hop with the prawn, and straight away you get nailed. Keep your jig head really light, around 1/6 of an ounce or 1/4 of an ounce. So give that a crack. Some people might not like casting because it's a little bit windy. Unless you can get out of the wind, that's fine. But if it's right down your dial, I'd be probably trolling for flatties this weekend, both in the Broadwater and at the pin area. Troll the edge of those banks as the tide drops down and it starts to really run off the banks, and you get the edge. They all fall off the little drains and sit on the edge of the channel. And I'd be trolling a couple of my favourites here. I love the Tango Shad in that little green one there. Trolling that in about 3 to 5 feet of water. I don't mind the SX in the Eco Gear. They're quite good as well, and really good colours. But one of my favourites, especially trolling that sort of 6 to 10 foot of water, the Strike Pro Galaxian. They're really, really good, guys. So give them a crack. So at the pin, it's going to be prawns up around the sort of the bay area from Jacobswell North. It's going to be probably a few sand crabs around Tippler's Channel. A few muddies around. There's been a lot of muddies, actually. Muddies have been good. Try the mouth of Logan and up the Logan a little bit, and back down around Jacobswell in that area. Definitely in the Pipamar too, guys. And definitely flatties around the banks. And like you might get a few tailor as well, but the waters have been a little bit dirty for that rain up that in town. The other thing to do is try for whiting in the ponds at the end of northern end of South Stratty, and just try those lagoons, fishing unweighted yabbies, particularly in the high tide in the morning, around that sort of 8, 9 o'clock time, okay, the first to run out. Down the Broadwater in town, there's been some good muddies around sort of the entrance to Kurrajee and Kurrajee Inlet, all the way down to Coorant Cove Inlet, so along that western foreshore of Stratty, and also the mouth of the Coomera, both the north and south arms, been really good, and up the Pipamar, as I said earlier, definitely really good as well. Crab pots, we've always got deals on crab pots, guys, and this is all I use. I use the basic crab pot. We have crab pots here that are $100. We've got, I don't know, 10 different types of crab pots, but really at the end of the day, they're all crab nearly the same. It's just up to you which way you want to go. But I just use these because I leave them out for quite a few days, and if they get nicked or stolen, I'm upset, but I'm not super upset. They're like $20 pot versus the $100 pot, right? But if you're going to go out and watch your pots, definitely I would go the Dira pots, if that's any consolation. We carry the Crab and Gear pots here. They're really good, and great pots as well. Okay, so crabs definitely on the menu. Muddies, yeah, as I said before, and sandies probably try around both sides of Sovereign Island, but overnights to go for sandies. Not bad tides at the moment, not too much run, so not too much weed in your pots. Jacks have been really good in the canals. Even though the water's dirty, they're still catching jacks. They catch them in the rivers. They catch them anywhere Paradise Point, Renai Bay canals, down Broadbeach in Narang River has been pretty good as well. I've been at this time of the day. At this time of the weekend, with the weather being howling wind, you need to it's going to be hard to cast in some situations. If you can get in canals out of the wind, that's fine. But otherwise, I'll be trolling. So I love trolling for jacks. It's quite easy. If it's blowing 30 knots, it's a relative. And you just keep your rod down low and twitch it and work it. And that's the sort of stuff you want to be trolling, which are deep divers. And those are stees from Daiwa, a great lure. We have many, many different types of Japanese lures in that sort of shape. And they all work really, really well. So that's the sort of thing you troll. Something gets down around about 2 meters or 2 to 3 meters and works really hard, shimmers really hard. The other thing that's happening at the moment is the Seaway. The Seaway's been going pretty good. There's a few jewies in the Seaway. There's a lot of sharks. I don't know why those guys paddle across at this time of the year, but when it's dirty. But anyhow, a lot of sharks. Be careful, guys. I had a few friends got some good jewies on Vibes during the week, and they were using that type of thing there, the Samaki Vibes. We've got the Wilson Vibes. We've got all different types of Vibes but soft vibes as they go, and working towards the end of the north wall. So give that a crack. Some big flatty being caught in Seaway again as well, which is unusual for this time of the year, but they're definitely there. So give that a go. Otherwise, troll for flatties up around, anywhere along the western foreshores of Straddie from sort of South Kurrajee all the way up to Browns Bay pretty well, along the edge. Try around the flats on the northern side of Crab Island and up to Sovereign, all those little drains and gullies through there. And cast, like I said before, with the prawn lures are really good too, and work that as well. Whiting, definitely try for whiting at the back of Wave Break. I see Clint from the Estuary Fishing Charter, Brad Smith's charters, has been doing really well and getting some big fish around that 40 centimetre mark. They're also getting up the river as well. The river at night time's been pretty good as well, up around Bundle and a little bit further up Carrara way. So give that a go. For the guys down the southern, the Gold Coast, look, the beach fishing is going to be really hard this weekend because of the wind. So you're probably stuck in the creeks and the rivers. So maybe trying the Tweed for whiting and flatties, and probably maybe Currumbin and Talbudger Creeks at the back end, so the western side of the highway, or just near the western side where the highway runs down. There's some good banks in that area for whiting and flatties as well. And you might get some jacks in the canals that branch off the rivers there and the creeks. That's probably about it I can tell you for in the rivers and that. Probably head now up to the Hinds Dam. So the Hinds Dam is fishing really good as well for bass. They actually got a comp up there next, not this weekend, the one after. Which Marcus, who works here, is fishing that. He's a pretty good bass fisher. And so surface lures will go there early morning, late afternoon. Anything that's got a bit of a popper face on it, a bit of skirt or wings that flap, like cicada type lures, all that sort of stuff, and you walk them on the surface and just slow walk them on the surface, and they'll get smashed. Stop every now and then, and they'll hit it. The other thing I do would be trolling lures and finding where they are, and then using like ice jigs or spinner baits or soft plastics and work the school in the dam itself. There's been good fish too, also below the dam in the Nerang River, around Latimer's Crossing and further down towards Nerang. And finding the holes there, just be careful where you are on properties and stuff like that. Be careful of snakes too, guys. The other thing is in the upper Coomera has been pretty good too. Again, be careful of snakes. They're pretty bad at this time of the year. And I think that's about a wrap of everything. So Stewie's away barra fishing. You'll probably watch, if you follow him on Facebook and Instagram, you'll probably see some posts coming through. See a guy all wet, that's Stewie. And he'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. So you'll put up with me until then. Sorry about that, guys. And don't forget about our seminar next Thursday next week on Wahoo, how to catch Wahoo, everything about it, lure fishing. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Don't forget, we've got a super deal on prawning nets and crab pots at the moment too, which is probably the go at the moment. Just pop in and we'll show you how to cast a net and what to do. And just one thing too, when you do get a cast net, look, some of the places we're casting is around about 20 metres deep, and most nets only come with a maximum of 10 metres. So make sure you buy rope to put on there. This is pre-made ropes. Make sure you buy ropes to put on your cast net and then tie it to the boat. If you don't have that rope on, your net's is going to go dang like that and not make to the bottom. So you need to add rope to your cast nets. Okay, we're here to help you out. Douglas Sackerworld here at Labrador on the Gold Coast. Thank you, bye.